I'm Clayton, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build a YouTube niche research agent from scratch in Claude Code. This is something that I built for myself a while back, and here I am just giving you a tutorial on how to do it yourself. Before I show you how to actually build it, I'm first going to show you what it does and what it looks like when it's actually done. So I'm going to go in Claude Code here and just give it a prompt to run this agent. I'm going to say use Niche Scout, that's the name of the agent, to analyze personal finance for retiring and buying small businesses. We're going to analyze both those niches. It's going to happen in likely under a minute. And it will build a HTML file that I'll pull up and it'll show you the results. Why does this tool matter? Well, it solves one problem, and that's picking a YouTube niche. If you're a YouTube creator or looking to become a YouTube creator, it's possible that you may be picking niches that are either saturated or have no audience. And this this niche research tool is something that can put numbers behind the decision you're trying to make based on the content you're trying to create. It'll show you how much demand exists, how many competitors are publishing in that niche, and whether the mathematical numbers support entering content in that specific category. And this is, again, going to be for anybody who's evaluating a YouTube niche before creating content in that category. This could be for creators, agencies advising clients on content strategy, and consultants doing competitive content research. Specifically, this is going to be useful if you do client work and need a defensible way to recommend or not recommend content direction for one of your clients. So we have an output here, and it's for both of our niches. This is what the research agent spit out for personal finance on retiring. It is a niche telling us to monitor. Um, it gives us the views per channel, it gives us the demand, and it gives us the most popular active channels. Rather than read this entire breakdown, I'll let you pause your screen if you want to see anything specific. Clearly, we have The Ramsey Show and Dave Ramsey highlights leading the pack. Audience signals, it gives recommendations. And just an additional note, I'm also going to open up the buying small businesses niche. Not surprised to see Cody Sanchez and Alex Hormozy content on this list. Again, you can pause the screen if you want to look at this content any more clearly or to see it more clearly yourself. And why not? I'll pull up another analysis I did before this video started, and that was on Google Business Profile Optimization. I'm trying to give you at least a diverse set of niches here to look over before I get into building this actual agent. This was recommended as a pass because it's a pure volume play, real but low yield per channel spread across established SEO agencies. Okay, so now you saw what the agent can do. It's time for me to show you how to build this from zero with an empty directory. Let's do it. So step one, I have a prompt ready to go to start this build. Everything that I put into Claude Code from this point forward, you can copy yourself in the Github repo that I've set up for this video. Or you can just watch and copy and paste on your own. But this is going to be available in a GitHub repo if you'd like to copy anything that is done from this point forward. So I, ahead of time, set up a empty folder on my system called Niche Scout Demo, and this is where we're going to build our YouTube niche research agent. And I'm going to give it this prompt to start. I'm building a YouTube niche research agent, set up the project scaffold in this directory. I gave it the directory and a couple of rules to follow. So I'm going to start with this, hit enter. Notice in that prompt, I'm being very specific about what I want. Vague prompts are going to get me vague results. And I learned this the first time around. So I'm giving you a lot of the fixes that I had to encounter on my own building building this myself. I'm front loading the standards because every file Claude generates from now on is going to inherit them. And notice I gave it a protocol for the git ignore, and that's going to be important because later on I'm going to have live API keys and a local cache, and I don't want either of those to hit git. Okay, we are good to move to the next step. Create scripts, smoke test, and it's going to read YouTube API keys from an env file, and then we're also going to have an example env file for you to download on your Git, so you don't get my API keys. And the reason I use a known public video in this test is so that I can verify that the output is working and it makes sense. If the view count comes back as 5 or 10 or 100, I know it's just not working correctly, but a popular video is going to come back with likely a lot of views. Okay, real quick, I'm going to pause my screen so that I can input my real API keys, and that will allow you to not see them. Awesome. So the smoke test passed with my API keys, and here's our test video, Never Gonna Give You Up. 1.7 billion views, published in October of 2009. I'd say we're looking good so far. So moving on to the next step. Next pastable prompt. All right. I should also mention, like, this video is great for non-technical people. It has everything ready to go, made for you. And again, if you're working with content creators or an agency working with content creators and you're not the most technical, you can create tools like this in Claude Code based on what you need. I know there's also software out there that helps you get these answers. It's just it's an amazing time that we're living in now that we have developer tools available to us in a very effective manner that can build things very quickly. All right, everything's working end to end. Keep going. And the point of this step actually is important to note because I'm preempting a bug here in the process. And this happened to me the first time I built it. And replacing it now helps me really test it beforehand because I'm going to silently break something and it's going to fix it on its own. So this problem doesn't happen again in the future. I'm just going to run another smoke test twice. Great. Now I'm going to run a cache regression test. So before moving on, I'm going to lock the bug that I just mentioned. The solution to that bug, I'm going to lock that in. And if a future version of this code accidentally breaks, then the cache key logic, within the cache key logic, the test is going to fail. And so if I ever break the cache logic, this is going to catch what it is before I waste hours debugging it. Good, all pass. I am going to run that test again, just to make sure. And they all pass. So we can keep moving. And so this next step is the YouTube API wrapper. I have an entire prompt here, and why this is important, I'm about to make multiple API calls, and this is going to be for search, video details, channel info, comment threads, all on a video. And I could write each one separately, but I'd be repeating auth and cache logic 4 times. So I'm just going to abstract it all so it happens once. And now anything that I build on top of this is 1 line of code per API call. The auth and cache are handled, and I get free quota tracking, which is going to matter later as I continue to run this agent. Only a couple more steps left. All right, we're good to move to the next step, and that's going to be the scoring process. So before I actually write the scout and finish writing the scout, I want to define what I'm actually scoring in it. If I jump straight to code without defining the score, without defining the scoring logic, then the agent is going to end up doing something quite mysterious, or it will be guessing on its own. I intend to make a future video about my second brain And this specific prompt is going to store the file in my second brain separate from this project file, which is niche scout demo that I set up prior to this video. So it's going to store this file in all my knowledge files, which is a separate folder. And future Claude Code sessions is going to recognize this from the SOP and know exactly what the agent should do, even if I'm not directing it in the conversation. So I already have a niche scout agent in here because I've created it before. Because I'm creating this demo, uh, I want to keep them separate. Make this one a standalone and label it. You won't encounter this because you don't have a niche agent already built. I'm building this one for a second time. So I am just keeping them separate for ease. Awesome. And here is the niche scoring SOP that we just created with that prompt. Again, this does not have to be black or white. You can alter this scoring system based on what you want to identify in YouTube. Use Claude or ChatGPT to reformat that scoring system based on something that you need. And now that we have that, it's time for the actual niche scout. And this is going to be the single biggest piece of code in the build. And it's basically orchestrating the wrapper that we've already built up to this point. I should show you that just in case. And so I think we're on step 8. And everything from step 2 to 7 was the foundation. And this is pretty much the step that produces an artifact that the viewer can use. And this is when the scout goes from I have YouTube API access and a cache into I can score a niche in 60 seconds and have a written analysis that I can hand somebody or save it for myself in the future. So this is really when the project becomes the tool that we want it to become. Important things about this too are like being really important about the quota target, under 200 units per run. There's a backup on overwrite, and that saves me from losing any prior analysis when I rerun something. If something goes bad on a run and I need to rerun it, it's going to recognize that because it backed it up. And as soon as this finishes up, I'm going to run it with a real query. Awesome. It just finished up. I'm going to run it with a real test for Shopify store themes. There we go. In less than 30 seconds, it ran it. It gave it a pass, so it doesn't want to pursue it. It has well below the $30,000 monitor views threshold. And it still gives me the demand, supply signal, and quota used, again, under 200 that we discussed earlier. And it also did run a test niche without me asking for walleye. And let's see here. Pretty cool. Now, everything we've done, I'm promoting it to an agent with this. I believe it's the second to last prompt. I think I have one more. So let's do that. This is going to promote the working script to a Claude Code agent, and it's going to make it reusable in future sessions without needing to re-explain anything that we've done up to this point, or re-explain any like project content if I'm working in other project content. That's where the agent is stored. And this is for you all. I'm committing everything to the GitHub repo niche scout agent v1. And this is going to come with the project scaffold, YouTube API integration. And if you want to build something like this, the full code is going to be in the repo link attached in this description of the video. And next video, I will show you how I build a second brain for Claude Code and all of my other agent projects. There you have it, folks. I just showed you how to build a YouTube research niche agent in less than 30 minutes, and you can do it yourself in less than 30 minutes too if you copy these exact steps that I just showed you how to do. And I really hope that it helps you create content in a specific niche that maybe is growing or becoming more viral, or maybe is in the middle stage of becoming a hotspot to create content in. So I'm creating all these videos just because it's going to help me teach it in the future outside of YouTube. I hope you like what you got here today, and I it's very possible I'm going to be my only viewer in the future. We'll see. But I'm going to continue to keep sharing things that I'm building in Claude Code for me and people that I know or businesses that I'm working with. Maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. We'll let the future be the judge.